Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we get started, I just want to say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I got a very special build in store for y'all, going to be called the DIMING mid-range scorer, and I really went ahead and replicated Kobe Bryant, making my own version. And I'm telling y'all, on this build we're going to be able to get all of the elite contact dunks, also going to be able to get pro dribble moves, 100 plus steal, and then when it comes down to the offense and defensive end, I'm telling y'all, you're going to be able to do everything, and this is going to be one of the more rare build names. So look, before we get any further into today's video, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Now, I would appreciate it if everybody went ahead and smashed that like button, but be sure to go ahead and comment down TG for thank God, as well as where you're tuning in from watching today, and I most definitely will hit y'all with the response. Now let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of this build. So we're going to make this build out of the point guard position, and I'm telling y'all, I know that Kobe Bryant is a shooting guard, but you're going to want to make it out of the point guard to make sure that we get all of the dribble animations as well as everything that goes into it when it comes down to this build. Now, if you want to change anything as we go into the breakdown of the making, you definitely can do so, but I'm telling y'all, you may change up the build name. Now, let's go ahead and get started when it comes down to the height. I'm going to go with 6'8". Now for the weight, I'm going to drop this to 186. And then when it comes down to the wingspan, I'm going to go with 7'4". Now for the body shape, it really comes down to your own preference and liking. I'm going to go with built, just so that way I'm able to take up the most space. Now from here, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the actual attributes. And first, we're going to get started with the physicals. So when it comes down to the speed, I'm going to go 82. 82 acceleration as well, 71 strength. 82 for the vertical with a 90 stamina. Now I'm telling y'all, if you have Gym Rat unlocked or do the Gatorade Challenge boost, you're going to be able to get an 86 when it comes down to the speed and acceleration, 75 strength, 86 vertical with a 94 stamina. Now like I said earlier, you can make your own adjustments towards this build as you like, but from here let's go ahead and check out the finishing. So for the close shot, I'm going to go 55, 73 driving layup, 93 driving dunk, and right there we get gold posterizer. And then when it comes down to the standing dunk, this is going to be a 48. Now we get 12 badges, and look, if you do add extra badges from my career and grinding out each season, we're going to be able to get posterizer on gold as well as limitless takeoff. But I'm happy that we're also able to get giant slayer and pro touch. Fearless finisher is another badge I'm really looking at. Now when it comes down to the finishing, I'm telling y'all, you can make your own adjustments as you like, but from here let's go ahead and get into the shooting. Now when it comes down to the mid-range shot, I'm going to go with an 83, 75 for the three-pointer, and then when it comes down to the free throw, I'm going to go with the 72. Now I know these numbers are different from what you would think of a Kobe Bryant build, but you need to maintain certain thresholds in order to actually get this build name. Now out of tier 1, we're able to get 6 Hall of Fame badges. I like Mini Magician, Space Creator, and then we're also able to get Volume Shooter. Now for tier 2, we get Agent 3, Green Machine, and then when it comes down to tier 3, I like the fact that we're able to get Limitless Range on Bronze. Now this is going to wrap it up for the shooting. From here, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the playmaking. Now with the pass accuracy, you have to go with an 89. If you drop anything lower than this, you're not going to be able to get the build name. Now with the ball handle, you're going to go with an 80, 77 speed with ball, and we get a total of 23 badges. Now for tier 1, we get gold ankle breaker, silver hyperdrive, and then we're also able to get 5 Hall of Fame badges. Now from tier 2, we get gold bailout, quick first step, and then we're also able to get handles for days, unpluckable, killer combos, and then clamp breaker. Now this is going to wrap it up for the offensive end. Let's go ahead and check out the defense now. With this area, I'm going to go with an interior defense of a 61, 81 for my perimeter, 90 when it comes down to our steal, 75 block, and then a 70 defensive rebound. Now we get 19 total badges, and I'm telling y'all, once we check out the takeovers, this is going to play a huge factor with this build. Now I'm happy that we get silver box out beast, also going to be able to get bronze post lockdown. Now for tier 2 chase down artist, interceptor on gold, and then when it comes down to silver glove, this is going to be one of the main badges on this build. Now for tier 3, I like anchor, clamps, rebound chaser, and then silver challenger. And then on this build, remember, once you add extra badges, you can put them into any area of your choosing. Now let's go ahead and check out the takeovers. We get the slashing, shot creating, playmaking, and then we get the lockdown. Now when it comes down to these takeovers, it really comes down to how you want to go about it for your playstyle. To be more like Kobe Bryant first, I would go with ankle breaking shots takeover. Now I'm happy that we actually do get every single takeover that's going to remind us of Kobe, RIP. But again, with the second one, I would have to go ahead and say extreme clamps is going to be the best. Now from here, let's go ahead and check out the build to make sure that we made it correctly. And if y'all followed exactly how I brought it to y'all, you're going to see that together we created the DIMING mid-range scorer. Now I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the better rare builds that you can possibly make, especially when it comes down to being like Kobe Bryant. Now we're able to get all of the takeovers to Kobe's exact playstyle, and then when it comes down to the build name, it's really going to match up with them perfectly. So from here, let's go ahead and check out what we're going to be looking like when it comes down to the badge setup. So when it comes down to the finishing, for tier 1, I'm going to go with bronze back down punisher, post spin technician, and then rise up. Now I also went with gold pro touch as well as giant slayer. And then for tier 2, my core badge, I went with Hall of Fame aerial wizard, and then also bronze fearless finisher. Now if you want to change the setup of badges, you definitely can do so, but I'm telling y'all, overall, if you add extra badges towards this build, remember, we're going to be able to get posterizer on the gold tier. Now from here, let's go ahead and get into the shooting. For tier 1, I went with silver amped, and then I went with the 3 Hall of Fame badges of midi magician, space creator, and volume shooter. Now when it comes down to tier 2, I like bronze green machine as well as agent 3. And then for tier 3, my core badge, I'm going to use it as limitless range. Now again, this comes down to my personal preference, but I really think this is going to be the best setup of badges when it comes down to shooting for this build. Now when it comes down to the playmaking, for tier 1, I'm going to go with gold ankle breaker. I'm telling y'all, this badge makes a huge difference this year. And then I'm also going to go with silver hyperdrive. Now for tier 2, I went with gold bailout, silver quick first step, as well as vice grip. And then for tier 3, I'm going to use my badge points for handles for days on bronze. And then my core badge is going to be silver killer combos. Now overall, I think we have everything that we need when it comes down to the offensive end. You're going to be able to ISO, especially with this badge setup, and then when it comes down to the shooting, you're going to be able to shoot threes with our takeovers. That's going to play a huge factor, and then with the elite contact dunks, that's going to make all the difference. Now with the defensive end for tier 1, the only badge that I went with was silver box out beast. For tier 2, I had to go ahead and put on bronze chase down artist. Now I also went with silver glove and then gold interceptor. Now for tier 3, I'm going to go with bronze anchor and then silver challenger, and this is pretty much going to wrap up the build. Remember, if you want to make your own changes and adjustments, do it after we create the build to make sure that you get the name correctly. But again, if you want to do it as we create it together, it really comes down to your own preference and liking. Now this is what the build's going to be looking like, and again, if you made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you so much for your support. And if you have anything that you want to pursue in life, go ahead and continue to do it. Don't take no for an answer, and I guarantee y'all, you're going to get exactly what you want out of life as long as you put in the work. Thank you God for another day and another opportunity. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. And I would appreciate it if everybody went ahead and smashed that like button. But more so than anything, comment down TG for thank God. And with all that being said, man, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.